Welcome back to Squelch, the video game blog. Okay, that's so good. Welcome back to
Squelch,
the video game book club. I have the hardest time saying video game book club. I want to say Blook Club, and that is wrong.
Oblitio blame Bloop Blub.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
First try,
Perfect.
no notes. There's definitely no music in the background, so I can't re-record this. I'm Dano, and we're sticking with this take. We could just start over. Hold on, we're going to start over.
No,
We're taking it.
I'm mad at arms. We're committed. We're committed now.
Okay, fine. Who are you, other guy?
Matt, that's you. That's your
No,
cue.
I already did me. It's your turn now.
Oh, I didn't hear Matt at all. I was so focused on Dano's beautiful, wonderful intro. Hello, and I'm Storm Rage, and we're here to remind everyone that Mass Effect 2 is a game, and the games are supposed to be fun, and intros are not supposed to be clean.
It didn't need to be
Wow.
this way. It didn't need to be this way. Nobody needed to know.
I think it's best that it is this way, though. For the month of February, we will be playing Mass Effect 3, and I will be posting a play schedule sometime this next week to get people kind of aware of what the pacing is going to be. This week, we're talking about the Shadowbroker DLC, the Project Overlord DLC, and then the final week, next week, we'll be talking about the Reaper IFF mission, the Mew Relay, which is also referred to as the Suicide mission, and one other possible mission, depending on your choices, on the Reaper IFF mission. And I am so excited, but you know what? After Mass Effect, we are going to be taking a break, a BioWare break. And Dano, do you want to tell us about what we're doing there?
We're going to take... Yeah, I can, yeah. So we've got 3 games to vote on for the BioWare break. So we put it out there for people to suggest games, and they did. Thank you all so very much for your suggestions. We now have like 30 games that have been suggested to us, which is absolutely fantastic. Keep them coming. Some of them are great for the podcast. Some of them aren't great, but like I love a list of awesome games. So thank you. Keep them coming. We'll take a look at them as they come in. The 3 games we're going to vote on for our Marple break is going to be Crosscode, Chrono Trigger, and Hi-Fi Rush. So thank you to everybody who suggested those 3 games. So we got a little bit of stuff here to talk about for each game. So Crosscode, this is straight from Steam, by the way. So, mad at Steam if it's wrong. This retro-inspired 2D action RPG might outright surprise you. Crosscode combines 16-bit SNES-style graphics with butter-smooth physics, a fast-paced combat system, and engaging puzzle mechanics, served with a gripping sci-fi story. Crosscode is all about how it plays. That's why there is a free Steam demo. We're not going to use that. We're going to give them money. Go, give it a try. If you want to give it a try before you vote on this, you certainly can. Take the best out of 2 popular genres, find a good balance between them, and make it a great game. That's what Crosscode does. You get the puzzles of a Zelda-esque style dungeons and are rewarded with a great variety of equipment you know and love from RPGs. During fast-paced battles, you will use tools you find on your journey to reveal and exploit enemies' weaknesses. At the same time, you'll be able to choose equipment and skills for a more in-depth approach to fighting your enemies. Hey there, Matt at Arms. Tell us a little bit about Chrono Trigger.
It's Chrono Trigger. It's one of the greatest games of all time. Like that's. I mean, I could get into the.
Played Chrono Trigger before? I've never played Chrono Trigger. It's on
you haven't?
Always wanted to playlist.
Yeah, it's great. It's Chrono Trigger. You should play Chrono Trigger.
It is a life-defining video game.
It is incredible.
And like, not even joking. Like that and
It
Final
is.
Fantasy VI probably did more to define like what I love about video games than any game I played ever. Like those 2 games are Chrono Trigger, I think you could make a very compelling case and argument it's the greatest game ever made.
Yep.
It's
the story
basically perfect.
Okay, so we'll go into the story because it's a chance encounter amid the festivities. The Guardians Millennial Fair in Lean Square introduces our young hero,
in my head.
Chrono, to a young girl by the name of Marl. Deciding to explore the fair together, they soon find themselves in an exhibition of the telepod, the latest invention by Chrono's longtime friend Luca. Marl, fearless and brimming with curiosity, volunteers to assist in the demonstration. An unanticipated malfunction, however, sends her hurtling through the rift in the dimensions. Taking hold of the girl's pendant, Chrono bravely follows in pursuit, but the world into which he emerges is one 4 centuries before. Journey to the forgotten past, the distant future, and even to the very end of time. The epic quest to save the planet's future makes history once again, because it's a remake. It's like they updated it.
Yeah, so it's like a PC release, like released in 2018.
Yeah.
So they added like the anime graphics from not anime like cutscenes from one of the like handheld releases, I believe, and
yeah,
but it still has the same soundtrack from what I understand, and like the graphics are still absolutely.
I have this version, and it's great. It's probably the best version you can play on PC.
It's a good game.
Storm Rage.
Yeah.
Tell us about Hi-Fi Rush.
Well, this is a hi-fi rush. Feel the beat as a wannabe rock star. China's ragtag team of allies rebel against an evil robotics enhancement megacorp with raucous rhythm combat. From Tango Gameworks, the studio that brought you The Evil Within and Ghostwire Tokyo, no, really, comes Hi-Fi Rush, an all-new action game where the characters, world, and combat stylishly sync to the music. Chai versus the world. Labeled detective wannabe rockstar Chai must break free from a sinister corporation with a raucous rhythm-enhanced combat. So it's a rhythm action RPG.
No, it's a rhythm action game. It's straight up action game.
Yeah,
I've played it. I'm terrible at it. It is fun.
Yeah,
I'm fascinated in this.
It looks so cool. And labeled defective, not labeled detective.
Oh,
yeah. If he was a detective, this wouldn't be on the list.
I'm gonna be
that
honest.
makes more sense.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The end Ghostwire Tokyo (parentheses no really) makes me want to know a lot about Ghostwire Tokyo. Like, is it some like super dark game or something? And then
it is. It's
okay.
really. It's a dark game.
All three of these games seem super cool. So we'll go ahead and post something in Discord for y'all to vote on these. Yeah. Player's choice. I'm looking forward to playing all three of them. And then afterwards, we'll figure out the Dragon Age situation. We'll actually figure that out sometime during Mass Effect 3 if we're going to play Dragon Age Inquisition or not. The hard part is it's just so hard to play that game. So the game's great, though. Should we go thank some patrons?
Sure.
Great.
I've got my brick ready.
Thanks. I am pretty incredible.
Hey, big news. We've got a new patron. Big thank you to Diego Centric for joining our Patreon. Thank you so much. If you want to be cool, smart, good looking, and have impeccable taste in podcasting, just like Diego Centric does.
Exactly.
You can join our Patreon over at patreon.com/squelch. This week in After Dark, we're going to talk about something. We'll figure it out when we get there. It'll be exciting. Also,
Yay.
Look out for your feeds this week or next week. At some point, we are going to do our watch along with the Mass Effect animated movie.
Oh, it's next week?
Well, it takes place between games 2 and 3, so I figure we should watch it between games 2 and 3.
We probably should, yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. So look for something in Discord, Storm Rage and Mad at Arms, for us to get that scheduled.
Intercom's open. If you got anything you want to say to the crew, now's the time.
Thank you so much, Joker. I do indeed have things I'd like to say to the crew. First and foremost, we're going to be talking about 2 different major DLCs today, Lair of the Shadowbroker and Project Overlord. There are a couple of DLCs that we have talked about in the past. There's one that we're just not going to talk about because I don't think the plot is interesting at all, and that's the Firewalker missions. As well, we will eventually be talking about the Arrival DLC next week as well. Dano, you have put a finger to your lips. Yes, would you like to go?
There was a plot to the Firewalker DLC?
I don't know. You're supposed to get something for some reason. It doesn't matter.
It was so dumb.
So let's go ahead and start with the Lair of the Shadowbroker. We head back to Ilium to see Liara and give her information that we received from Cerberus on the Shadowbroker. If that name kind of sounds familiar, but you're not entirely sure, the Shadowbroker is an information broker who we somewhat dealt with back in Mass Effect 1, and that Liara has been actively working on taking down, due in part because of the fact that the Shadowbroker kidnapped a friend of Liara's that helped get Shepard's body back to Cerberus. So, that is also when we find out that the reason that Cerberus ended up with our body is because of Liara. And the Shadowbroker was working to try and give our body to the Collectors. So, thankfully, that didn't happen. Otherwise, the universe would probably be doomed.
Doomed. I'm gonna sing my Doom song now.
I gotta sing the Doom song now. Doom, 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 doom.
We head to Liara's apartment to find out that she is, in fact, not there. Oh no! And that someone was trying to do a murder on her. Oh no! There is an Asari Spectre who's helping us out. Cool! New friends! New friends are great. We eventually find a hint about Liara's location and head over there. She's meeting someone else to get information on the Shadowbroker. We head to that location and boom, the Shadowbroker's forces blow up a chunk of the building. We fight our way to the top and find the person that Liara is looking for. Uh-oh, he done did get shot. We find Liara. Cool. Old friends. Liara tells us that the Spectre we are working with is actually working for the Shadowbroker. Uh-oh, new friends are bad. Old friends are good. The Spectre runs away. Man, is she fast. I want to stop here. This is like the kind of the halfway point of the DLC.
Yes.
How did you guys feel about kind of the opening sequences here?
I thought it was a lot of fun. It made me kind of, so apparently before the DLC, like Liara would give you random missions, I guess, because she does say, hey, if you need to get a mission, just stop at my computer, but I'll be gone. And I was like, nothing's there. So apparently they took that out of the game when they added this to the game, which I was like, oh, maybe you'll have her say that. I don't know. Or maybe have her do. It's your game.
She gave me random missions when I was on the planet, right? I was like hacking terminals to get data.
She did do that. Yes, those were terrible, by the way.
Oh, they're bad.
No, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it couldn't have been more obvious that the Spectre we're working for was evil.
What? Why'd you say that?
It was just not sneaky. She was just like obviously very sketchy. It was
I mean,
yeah.
My suspicions were confirmed when she like straight up shot the dude and then opened the door.
Yeah.
It's like let's separate. And I was like, I wonder why.
Yeah, huh.
Why would we separate?
Work your way down, and we found the guy in the middle, but you found him first. Huh, how strange.
Right?
But no, it was a lot of fun. It was the story was super compelling right away. And you don't really know what's going on except for like help out friend, which is for Mass Effect 2 is exactly all Shepard needs. Is like, oh, a friend needs assistance. I am there. Are you also emotionally damaged? I can help.
Alrighty, continuing on. After that, how do you catch somebody that's running away real fast? Wrong. You commandeer a taxi. It's time for a car chase. The only car chase in all of Mass Effect. It is a blast. We follow her to an Asari club, an Asari resort, something. It's called Azure. And Azure is slang for... Never mind, it's not really important. You eventually find and stop the Spectre. Yay! Now you have the location of the Shadowbroker's base. Let us go! So we have another step where we head into the Shadowbroker's base. Dano, you have a thought?
We talk about this fight, because the fight was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So she has like super biotic superpowers. And like one of those biotic superpowers was like crazy biotic speed. So she would just like hop around the like battle arena that we were in And it was bananas fun trying to keep track of her and like knocking down the shields, and she was just fantastic. And then she would take off, and then the mooks would come in, and then she'd pop back down from like the rooftop, and you have to take her out in phase 2. And then she'd hop back on top of the roof, and then the mooks would come in, and then phase 3 would begin. It was a good old-fashioned scripted fight. I was like, yes, this is how you do a boss fight. Yeah.
It was a good fight. Also, I really loved the car chase because it had like very much like episode 3 vibes to it.
100%. I was going to say
like
the same
they
thing.
literally they lifted up the car chase directly from like that scene in episode 3, and it was absolutely perfect.
I was Anakin driving around.
Yeah,
it was exactly what that was. And there was maybe the best line in the entire series was Shepard goes, "What kind of weapons does this have?" And Liara goes, "It's a taxi. It has a meter."
I love it so much. I love the amount of fun that is in this DLC. Like, there is a fairly serious undertone, right? Like, we're trying to save somebody. We're trying to replace basically the main information broker in the galaxy. But there's also just a lot of really fun lines. And when you're about to take on the Spectre for the final fight, they take us a hostage. And you can do a Paragon or a Renegade check to release the hostage. And I do not know what the Renegade check is, but the Paragon check is, you don't think I'd sacrifice one life in order to save everybody? I sacrificed, whatever it is, like 7 human ships in order to save the Destiny Ascension. This is a Tuesday for me. Don't even try to play.
Yep.
And it was just so good.
Yeah, the Renegade is that you literally just shoot her in the shoulder and it hits the...
I was like, I bet I know what the Renegade option is. But it wasn't that like, Renegade compared to some of the options you have.
Right?
In this
it's
game.
Like, yeah, like, trust me, when I exited the mission earlier, I did much worse things. Yeah, so...
So we head over to the Shadowbroker's base. It's in the middle of an eternal lightning storm, which is also the name that I want if I ever do a metal band. We fight our way across the ship to get to the central hub. We find Liara's friend. He's not doing good. He's been tortured. That's probably the only time we will mention torture in the Mass Effect DLCs. The only way we can save him is by taking over the ship entirely. What a normal thing to do. We find the Shadowbroker. He's a really cool new alien called a Yogg. He a big boy brute. We do a murder. We now have access to all the Shadowbroker stuff. And I'm curious, what was everybody's favorite thing that we get from the Shadowbroker? Or any thoughts on the fight? Because I also think this fight is pretty fun.
I'll talk about the fight later in my stuff.
Okay.
Stuff.
All right.
So I thought getting across the ship was fun. It was very... kind of like a Star Trek-y, put on the magnetic boots and walk across the ship. It was very fun. Fighting all the mooks was a pretty good time. I thought the countdown to get in, like trying to just like stay alive was pretty good. So like when you finally get to you get dropped off on top of the ship, the Shadowbroker ship, and you have to like find a way in. So eventually you have to make your way across all these like mechs and these guards and all this kind of stuff. And then you finally get to an entrance into the ship, and then they start sending out all these guards from somewhere, these mechs. And then it takes like a countdown for like the door to open essentially, and you have to like survive multiple waves. It was difficult and fun. I enjoyed it immensely. As far as the fight goes with the Shadowbroker, could not have been more disappointed. There was an autosave.
Oh.
There was an autosave in the middle of the fight. So I got to the 3rd phase and he just got me. And I was like, darn. And it wasn't the most exciting fight up till then. Like, it was just kind of sit back and shoot. So it wasn't like super exciting, I didn't think. But like, I still got had. And then I popped up in the last phase and I was like, oh. And so I just took care of the last phase and that was that. And I was like, wow. That's the only time in this game that there's been an autosave like that in the middle of, especially the DLCs where like, there's like no
the
chance.
The Shadowbroker fight has saves. Like when you fight the Spectre, there's saves in the middle of the fight.
Oh, is there? I didn't know that. So
yeah.
So in other wave combat that you have in the game, there are no in something we'll talk about next week. No auto saves there, but I guess there are. Are there? No, there aren't any. So So yeah, I was kind of surprised that like with the boss fight I had an autosave, but I guess there was so I guess they just did autosaves in the boss fights. So
Yeah.
but I didn't think that was necessary. It's one thing if it's like a wave and you get like it's a 7 wave or something like that. I could see throwing an autosave in there at some point. But
Sure.
I think at the boss fights I didn't really need one. I got one. I didn't need it. Apparently I didn't need it, but
I did.
I would have liked it not been there because it was kind of a fun fight, and I wanted to kind of have that challenge of getting through it.
Struggle a bit more.
Yeah, and instead of kind of being ended up being a little overly easy, I felt like because of the autosave in the middle. So
Yeah,
That's totally fair.
I really like the relationship stuff between you and Liara. If you romance the Liara in this particular, I'll talk about it. We'll talk about it more in T. I think we'll talk about, but like there's some really good stuff in there, especially if you decided to go with someone else.
I'll say one thing about the relationship with Liara. If you chose not to rescue her until the very last moment of Mass Effect 1, a lot of this was kind of like you had to sort of headcanon that there was a lot going on in between Mass Effect 1 and 2 because like you don't know me and I don't know you.
I grabbed you just right before we went to the Citadel. We were hanging out for like a couple hours.
Like we are casual acquaintances at best. we are not like friendly deep hug friends. We are not that.
My favorite thing about this thing is you get at the end of the Shadowbroker fight, you get access to all of the Shadowbroker information, and Liara becomes the Shadowbroker. So now you have a massive network of information. And my favorite thing is that with that network, you get dossiers that are like hidden information about your own crewmates and other people. And my favorite is Miranda's.
Yes.
Because you see Miranda's search history going through a dating site.
Yep.
And it's like somebody will open with like, what's your favorite color? And she'll be like, no, next. And then just like keep going until eventually someone is like, she's like, are you this? He goes, yes. She goes, great, meet here. And then he goes, do you? And then call disconnected. And it's so funny, and it's just really well written and a really good insight into like the side of characters that we don't see.
Yeah. Grunt's Googling dinosaurs was probably one of my favorite things.
Rex. Tyrannosaurus Rex, spelled WREX, was so funny. My favorite was the secret footage of Jacob. And it was there was 2 different files on Jacob. The first one was his workout routine, and the second was a picture of him doing push-ups sit-ups with his shirt off in his quarters. That was just so funny.
Yes. I also love, especially as somebody that romanced Tali, that you get to see her search history, and her search history is just like a bunch of like human courtship rituals, and it was really funny.
Yeah, as someone who turned Tali down, it made me feel bad all over again.
Yep, that sounds about right.
No, that was a lot of fun. Also in there, you can go find her friend. He's in the back door. So if you go through the Shadowbroker base, he's back there and gives like some insight on what it was like to be tortured by the Shadowbroker. There's also like a weird video thing where like you can cycle through like 5-second videos of random people just doing stuff in the galaxy.
Yeah.
And after you cycle through all of it, it's like, come back for more. And I was like, that was,
I'm good.
That was really awful. Why did I watch that? You could like zoom in and zoom out and like rewind and fast forward. I was like, this is worthless. What is the point of this?
Yeah, there isn't a whole lot.
There you can like purchase information about like high mineral planets, which is fine, except for that once you purchase it, it's always on your map. Even if you like deplete the planet, it still is on your map, and that's annoying. And then the last thing, I think the most annoying thing, I would say, this whole DLC was amazing, and then you get to the end of the Shadowbroker base, and you can purchase information about things. So I thought there was like, oh, here's like a way for the game to continue, so you can like keep on going on little missions. That's fun. And so I, paid for the 4 or 5 missions, like information for missions. Then I go out and I go do stuff, and I'm like, where were these missions at? So I go back to the Shadowbroker and I go back to that console, and then it has those missions laid out again, but instead of like how many credits you have to pay for the information, it has 0 credits. So I click on it, and then it turns out you were just paying for missions to happen. And they're scripted. So some of them succeed. If they succeed, you double your money. And if you fail, you lose your money. And they're scripted. So you know exactly which ones are going to succeed and which ones are going to fail. So if you want, you can just go and Google which ones are going to succeed. I don't know. It just seemed like, what's the point in that, really? That kind of bummed me out. And like the DLC that was a top 5 DLC of video games, I believe. That was a weird
phenomenal
little insert, I felt like.
I think for me, it's just like a small little cherry on top of like, here's a showcase of how the Shadowbroker can manipulate the world.
Sure, that makes sense.
It's not much, but it's like just a little bit extra.
That's fine. I guess that's cool. It's kind of flavor, I guess, which is
that's all
cool.
I thought about it as.
Yeah, I think it'd be more. I think I was just disappointed because I misunderstood what was going on. I thought that I was going to go and influence, but you were just paying like Shadowbroker agents to go and try and influence. So maybe that was me just not reading the text on the screen, which is probably the way it works. But
yeah, if you do read the text, it does pretty clearly outline of like, you can pay and then this company will try to do this thing.
Well, I take no fault for that.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, reading's hard.
But no, all in all, I honestly I didn't know we were she was going to become the Shadowbroker. So I was honestly surprised at the end when she went up to you finish the boss fight, and then Liara walks up to this giant screen, and people are like, cause like the Shadowbroker network went down for a little bit, and then it pops back up, and then she's like, with like a voice changing software. It's like, sorry about that. We had a software update that was a hiccup, but we're back online. And I was like, whoa, you're the Shadowbroker.
It's real cool.
It was really, really fun. Like maybe I'm an idiot because I didn't see it coming, but I didn't see it coming. And when it did happen, I was like, that is really, really cool and fun. Yeah.
Now, let's go ahead and talk about Project Overlord.
No.
Now, I want to give a pretty earnest trigger warning that this plotline deals with harm to neurodiverse individuals and pretty dark content. So the opening of this is fairly benign, and then it takes a hard left turn right at the end.
Yeah.
And we could talk about the validity of that storytelling choice when we get there, but I want to prep people for that. Just as a heads up, in case that is something you're not interested in hearing about, that's totally fair. So let's go ahead and talk about Project Overlord. We have been told by Cerberus that a rogue AI has taken control of a Cerberus station. We need to shut it down. We start to shut it down. Turns out we have to go to several other stations to fully shut it down. But wait, what is this thing? The lead scientist wanted to develop a way to communicate and specifically control the Geth, because apparently the Geth don't have AOL Instant Messenger yet. So he did the most logical thing and plugged his brother into their network. The lead scientist, his name is Gavin, and his brother's name is David. David is both a mathematical savant and also autistic, and could communicate with the machines on a somewhat proficient level, although not enough that he could fully control them. He could talk to them, but he couldn't command them. So Gavin plugged his brother in, and now his brother is trying to control all Geth, and also ship his program off-world, in which he could infect all technology in existence, and that could be a problem. So we shut down the other stations and make it back to Atlas Station where it all began. Now it's time to shut everything down. David eventually isolates us from the rest of our team and tries to communicate with us. This is where things take a heavy left turn. We very quickly realize that the reason that David is in the situation that he is in is because his brother essentially forced him to. This was not a volunteer. This was coercion and manipulation of an individual who was more neurodiverse. And to put the cherry on top, it turns out that David quite literally was plugged into the network in a truly terrible, horrific manner. It is brutal. Also, not a joke, harming those that are neurodiverse is obviously terrible. It's also really, really common and really, really messed up. Don't do it. This is also the only time in the entire game where the good guy option, the Paragon option, is to punch someone in the face. And it is the most deserved punch in the entire universe.
Man.
In fact, he deserves a whole heck of a lot more than just a punch to the face. He deserves what we've done to literally everything else in the galaxy, which is shoot first, ask questions, maybe at some point.
Yeah.
You can either take David away and send him off to Grissom Academy. And I feel like it is important to say this. This is a brief spoiler. So this is also a spoiler hypothetically for Dano and Matt. So like very broadly, if you don't want to hear overall his outcome in Mass Effect 3, it's positive. He has a very good outcome in Mass Effect 3 if you send him to Grissom Academy. He ends up living a pretty good life, which I think is necessary for me to enjoy this story at all. Or you can be the absolute worst person in the galaxy and let Gavin continue to experiment on him. Gavin appears to have like some semblance of guilt where he says the things that I've done have been unethical. That's a stretch of that word. But if he dies, it's unforgivable. I need to take care of him. And it's like, I cannot imagine anybody, even Renegade Shepard, being like, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like a good thing to do.
Yeah, I'm a jerk. I'm not a monster.
Yeah.
And as a Renegade Shepard, even though, this was brutal. And unfortunately, it's very of its time, of its like presentation of autistic individuals.
Yes.
Where it's very much like, okay, we watched Rain Man and we're good. Like, it's brutal. It's really bad.
Yeah, a part of it is that's the only portrayal we get in media is like, Rain Man or nothing. And so, yeah, there are individuals who, like, give them a date and they can tell you that does exist, right? There's like amazing things like that. But like when the only stories you do get of, autistic people is those stories, it's super weak and
yeah,
it's just a bummer. It's just not good and unnecessary. It could have been his brother, and then he ran into a Prothean artifact or a Reaper artifact and was able to speak with the Gath, and then all that same stuff happened.
Or just been like really good at like languages. And
yeah, it just because it's I don't know. It just seems like the only portrayal we get is victimization, and that's just a total bummer. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think not that I want to like fully defend these choices. I think some things, if I wanted to try to give the writers the benefit of the doubt, because I think that generally speaking, they do communicate and they do present a lot of things in a pretty good light, considering it was 2010. Mm-hmm. It's wild to think that only 15 years ago that was considered a good light, right? Like that's pretty messed up, but I think that it is. And I think that the point of the story, if I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, is that everybody has an insane amount of talents. Do not judge people based on how you might first encounter them, or based on how you might perceive their intelligence or their social abilities. And also, people that do take advantage of those individuals are literal monsters. That's how I kind of have to internalize their messaging in order to be kind of okay with it. Because I think that the story takes a really hard left turn in a way that really affected me emotionally. And I think that turn I liked if it wasn't the thing that it was. Like, I liked so many aspects about this story. I just wish that it had better presentation.
I'll tell you what I didn't like about this story was the Firewalker, or whatever that thing is called. The Hammerhead?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hammerhead.
Yes. The Mako. Mako 2.0. Mako 2.0 is worse than the Mako 1.0.
Spoiler alert. We're talking about this.
Oh, I know, but we're going to talk about it now, too, because it deserves to be talked about a lot. It's awful, and I dislike it a lot. And
I like it a lot, actually. I think it goes real smooth.
Super fun to drive around. I have no problem driving it around. I love driving it around. That is a lot of fun. I don't like that I can't save at all in this, and there is never an autosave when you're in this thing. And whenever you get into a fight, your weapons lock on and their weapons lock on. So if you don't like break contact or whatever, you just get blowed up without even nothing you can really do about it. And it's just very frustrating. Like I don't know.
I will say one thing that you can do with the hammerhead, you don't have to fight anything. You can run past basically everything. The only thing you can't run past is there's a section where there's like a giant old Geth laser
cannon
that shoots down at you, and you do have to dodge that.
I want to
But
talk about that too.
There's a bunch of turrets on the map that it makes it seem like you have to fight and kill. You can just drive right past those guys.
No, you can't. You can't. There are 6 MacGuffins you have to get. You have to get the 6 MacGuffins. So if you don't get the 6
Cerberus
MacGuffins,
data, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's never spoke about again. But there's like 6 MacGuffins, 6 Cerberus MacGuffins you have to get by fighting those things. And so I did have to fight them.
Absolutely did not do that.
Which was the correct decision.
Also, like when you're like picking up like the Cerberus data or like whatever stuff's on the planet,
It's all jiggly.
The Y button, it gets jiggly. Why does it get jiggly? Why does it do this?
Gotta get jiggly with it.
It's terrible. It literally jiggled itself off the spot, and then it like canceled. I'm like, oh, come on.
I did the Firewalker DLC before this, so I was aware of the jiggling, but I would have loved the Geth cannon fight if it was clear about where it was targeting, but it was just circles.
It's just a
it was
big
just red
circle. It's just a gigantic circle.
It was multiple red circles. And so
Yeah.
you never really knew. Why not just have everything be like dark red close, light red further out, then maybe like a
Or
super
just like-
light red, and then you know you're free. So you never really knew when you were like in the target area or not in the target area, and you try to run around and there'd be like a slight little, rock on the ground, and your hovercraft can't get over that ding dang rock, so it blows you up and you got to get started again all over again because heaven forbid there's an autosave when you're in this thing, and it's just it drove me insane.
I liked it.
I like how it drives better than the Mako. I like how there's
I
not
disagree.
like infinite.
I disagree.
I mean, the Mako would have been fine if it had the same terrain that you get with the thing that can fly.
Yes. I think my main issue with the Mako is not necessarily the Mako itself, but it is the relationship to the topography.
Yes.
Like, this thing just zooms. I just zoom, and that's all that I worry about. The Mako, I had to, figure out, I had to perform geometry to figure out what angle of the rock I needed to hit in order to climb over it. It was
That's part of the fun.
nightmare.
It was
It's part of the fun.
It's all Skyrim horsing around, right? You were just Skyrim horsing. That's 100% Skyrim horsing. And at first it was kind of fun, and then it got old super quick. Like, if they had just roles reversed the 2 vehicles, like if the vehicle that can fly was flying over mountains, super cool. If the vehicle that could go over bumpy terrain was driving over bumpy terrain, super cool. But instead they flip-flopped them, and I'm like, I don't think you guys understand how vehicles work.
The Mako would have been better in that situation because the Mako don't care about lava.
Mako don't care about anything.
Mako don't care. Mako just drive over it. It doesn't care.
Mako got launched from ship and burned up in orbit and still turned out just fine.
Just pick it up straight. Yeah, pick it up. Yeah, just pick it up from the Normandy crash site.
And I'm pretty sure I could have walked in, turned it on, and driven it away.
Right? 100%.
I was kind of sad I couldn't. I was like, wait a minute. Does it still start? Does it need like a jump? Hey, it's just... No, all in all, I think it was good. I thought it was really interesting the way that we treated his brother versus the way that you treat the reporter that asked the slightly annoying question. Because if you renegade that one, you basically punch her to death. And she's just a reporter asking
actual assault.
Just a bad question. It's kind of like a not nice question that's trying to put Shepard in a bad light, And then this person is a true human monster, and we're like, don't you do it again. Little tap to the chin. And I'm like, I watched you just literally punch someone. What? I feel like the ramifications of the actions do not quite line up.
Yeah.
I mean, those two should get together.
I don't think they should. The reporter's just a lousy reporter. Like, she's just kind of mean.
I don't even think she's that bad. She's asking questions of a high-ranking military officer that has no bounds.
It's
that
the
has
way
like
that she's
unlimited power.
She's mixed. So she's like telling the story in a disingenuous way. That's what's annoying about her, right? Not necessarily the questions she's asking. It's the way that she's reporting in a disingenuous way. But I don't think she deserves to get absolutely beaten. Like, that was ridiculous. Ugh.
Yeah, Gavin deserves... I would like to personally feed him to the Collectors. If I could do that, if I could send him on a spaceship to the Collectors and I was like, hey, here's one for you, I don't know if that's enough for what he did.
I was honestly shocked there wasn't a Renegade option after the Paragon option passed. Like,
yeah,
I thought for sure there would be, or a Renegade option first and then a Paragon option afterwards. If you like let the Renegade one slip by, then you could do the Paragon one. Or if you decided, I was stunned that they were like, oh, the way the story ends is him just going off and living his life. Like, I'm sorry, we're not even arresting him or anything. It's just like, hey, don't do it again, or I'll find you.
I mean,
like, what?
And then there's the email from the elusive man.
Oh man, this guy.
Thank you so much for reminding me, Matt. I think this is the first instance where you see the elusive man show his genuine true colors.
Yeah.
Which is, he does not care about people. He cares about humans. He cares about humankind. But one person being tortured, that doesn't matter. As long as the end result is enough. And so he sends you an email assuming that you free David, basically saying, hey, you probably shouldn't have done that. You're setting our research back a really long ways. And it's like, excuse me? Excuse me, Mr. Elusive Man, sir? Yeah. I have thoughts about what you just said, and they are bad thoughts.
I truly believe he does not care about humanity, or he cares about humanity the way that Elon Musk cares about humanity, in a way that like, I like humanity in a way that involves me getting all the power. And if that means I get the power, 100%. That's why, like, it's not like he is trying to protect the human race. He is trying to protect and gain his power. So I do not believe that he has any interest in actually protecting humanity so much as he wants to gather and gain power in such a way that, you know, furthers his goals, which is also why, like, humanity first, right? Because if the council's involved, then the council also has, if nothing else, like equal voice, which he doesn't want. He wants to have his voice to be the only voice. So, yeah. That's my thought, at least, about the elusive man.
This is where he starts to be a bit of a bad dude.
Starts.
Oh, one thing. Did you read about there's a elusive man has a dossier in there, and I wish it went a little bit harder than it does. But one of the things was like cigarettes smoked today 4. And I'm like, the dude's only ever smoking. How has he only smoked 4 cigarettes today?
Because he doesn't actually smoke them. He just like kind of has them around.
They're like an accessory.
So scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the Firewalker DLC, and 10 being Lair the Shadowbroker, where do you rate Lair the Shadowbroker?
I think you just gave us the answer there. I liked it a lot. I think it was really good. I think a lot of the like continuing the relationship stuff with Liara, if you romanced her in the first one, was really, really good. Mm-hmm. Especially the postscript part of it, where like Liara and like Shep hang out in the captain's room for a minute. It's really good. It's fantastic.
I'm going to give it a 9.5 because I think it is a really, really fantastic DLC, but there is one DLC in Mass Effect 3 that is the epitome of what DLCs should always be.
That's amazing. Okay.
Yes.
I was going to give it a 10, but now I'm going to give it a 9.9 because I know something more is coming.
Yep.
How about Project Overlord?
It's like it's a good story. It's a really good story. Like, and it's a really meaty mission. Like, there's a lot to do in it, and like, yeah, we have our problems with the Hammerhead, you know, because vehicles in this game just don't mix.
Man, vehicles in
Except
this
for-
game.
unless you're chasing someone with a car in an episode 3 scene. But like, yeah, it was. I thought it was fine. It was like a 7. I thought it was really good.
I think I'm probably gonna go a 7.5. I'm just so torn because I've personally loved the story a lot of times that I've played it, because it is a lot of Mass Effect. The villains are kind of villains that you kind of relate to. Like, the Elusive Man is a bad guy, but you can kind of see where he's coming from. He's doing immoral things for a possible moral good. You look at Saren, you look at even the Reapers. Like, their reasoning makes sense. They're bad guys because of their actions, but their intentions make sense to me. This is the first time that there's just a straight up villain. He's just a monster. There's nothing redeeming about him. He's evil, and I really love punching him in the face. I love punching him in the face so much. And the fact that they get me to that level, I have to respect, even though if it were not for the way that it presented his brother, I think for me this would be a 10 or a 9.5 again. But I think because of that, it feels icky still.
Was the Paragon the Paragon trigger to punching in the face?
Yeah.
Like the
Yes.
thing. Okay, I didn't do that because I usually
Paragon.
don't do the Paragon thing. But yeah, so now I want to kind of go back and do that, and then
So you can punch him in the face?
yeah, because I didn't do that. Get to do that as Renegade Shep.
So fun.
Even though I picked the Paragon option of like, yeah, get your brother out of there.
Yeah. Dana, how about yourself?
It's a 7. I think it'd be higher if there was any other portrayal of neurodiverse individuals in the games.
Yeah.
Which there isn't.
Yes.
So this is your only portrayal. It's disappointing.
Yeah.
I think it's a good story, and it's an impactful and terrifyingly awful story that you could definitely see happening. So I like that a lot. I think the Hammerhead is a bummer driving it around is a ton of fun. I have a save set aside for Dean just to drive around. Driving around and seeing the anteater kangaroos from Mass Effect 1 also.
I love those little guys.
Ton of fun.
Oh, did you shoot one, by the way?
I shot one in Mass Effect 1. I didn't shoot one in Mass Effect 2, though.
If you shoot one in Mass Effect 2, if you shoot one with the Hammerhead, the computer comes on. Yes, turns out, I was like, herbivore mammals are no match for rocket powered.
That's so good.
I did love that the computer was like, organic life forms may love the view up ahead. And so I stopped. I was like, I do enjoy it. So I think all in all, there was the 6 Cerberus MacGuffins. They should have served.
I missed one. What do you get if you get the L6?
Nothing. You get nothing. And the one you missed was under a land bridge. So you had going up to the last base. You had to go around and underneath the land bridge there, and there were 2 of those super mechs. They were a super giant hassle as well, by the way. You had to kind of hide behind a thing, and then they were rough. But yeah, you didn't get anything that I noticed. I looked for something too, because I was like, oh, I got the MacGuffins. I thought maybe the Elusive Man would give me a pat on the head or something, or nope, nothing. So it was very much a Mass Effect 1 type of MacGuffin situation. And I was like, oh, bummer. Thought we were done with that. So the combat was a lot of fun. I would say all in all, it was really fun. I enjoyed it, but I just thought that there were some misses. I would have loved the Geth Cannon fight a lot more if it was clear where just having the 3 circles when you're trying to quickly avoid something, I thought was kind of unhelpful, because you can't really judge which circle you are in, so you don't know how close or far away you are. Otherwise, I thought it was really fun using the Geth Cannon to blow up its own power supplies. That was clever and fun and silly, so I liked that a lot. But I thought the final execution just missed a little bit. So maybe 7.5. I think it was almost very, very good, but it was just not quite executed in the end. So should we go to the tea with Finley and talk about awkward things? Great.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hello,
Oh,
old
I see
friend.
what you did there.
Let's meet for tea after the match, shall we?
Slurp, slurp, slurp.
Oh, no.
What, you don't want me to slurp on this one?
Nope, not one little bit. I kind of want you to slurp ever.
Slurp, slurp.
Let's talk about romance. Who did you romance? Why? And how did it turn out?
I will start. I pulled a Dano in that I think I accidentally said something to Jack earlier on in the game and initiated a romance without intending to.
Oh.
And then I ended up, because it doesn't lock you in like it does in Mass Effect 1. So I went up and I locked in my romance with Tali, and then in a really bummer format, Jack like never really forgives you and never talks to you afterwards.
Nope.
So every time I went down, I was like, hey, can we chat about anything? And she was like, no, we can't. Not unless you want to get with me instead. And it's like, that's not... I would like friendship. Can we do friendship, please? That seems like a good option for everybody. So I was a little bummed about that. But my romance was Tali, and I love her romance. She's this awkward individual that is just so absolutely enamored with Shepard, and it's adorable and cute. And all of the scenes are her being like, I mean, we could have like Quarians typically share intimacy by sharing suits. And also, I mean, not that we have to, but if you did want to, then we could, but we don't have to. And the actual romance scene, so right before you lock in and head out to the Omega relay, you get like another romance scene with your romance partner. And I know that we're talking about that technically next week, but we're talking about romances now, so it feels like the best place to put it.
Yep.
And Tali's is, she goes, I've taken a bunch of antibiotics, I've taken some herbal remedies, and she pops off her mask, and she like pounces on you, and it's like really cute and still sexy, and it's just really, really good. I love the romance with her. She's the best. Matt, how about yourself? Tell us about Liara or the lack thereof.
So I decided, like, before I did the Shadowbroker, I decided to do romance Thane, because, well, Thane has some issues, and well, Shepard also has issues, but it got really they work together. I'm also femshep, if I haven't said this enough. So like when he starts calling her Siha, and like then she's like, what is that? Like that's when that's when you find out, and it's just a couple who, like, you know, he doesn't have a whole lot of time left. He, like, you're kind of just doing this because he doesn't have a lot of time left. You are kind of living in the moment. Like, at least I was role playing it this way, and it's just like, you know, and the connection is there, and it's a great little romance, and like you kind of like he talks about his wife, which is the person that he who jumped in front of his shot when he was assassinating someone. So, you know, you get a bunch of that story, and it's good. Okay, thanks, Dan. Dan just posted something in chat, and I just saw it, and it completely distracted me. Good job. No, it's very good, and then it's super cute now. Like we now I come into the room, we hold hands, and we talk about going to a desert planet. It's wonderful. You know, and then there's the reaction with Liara. You know, once you do the Shadowbroker, where she's like, you know, you're just, you know, you're basically, you know, trying to be a replacement for his wife, and she says some really hurtful stuff. Like
interesting.
It's like, you know, you're just here there to replace the wife, and then you can be like, no, I'm, you know, it's complicated, you know, and then later at the end of Shadowbroker, you and Liara kind of have a discussion where I think you can choose to either go with Liara or kind of continue with the current romance you're with. And it's like we kind of like, no, it's like Liara, it's like, I'm just living in the moment. We're just trying to get, like, my focus is the Reapers. We're trying to, you know, it's like, and then they kind of ended off as friends, which is nice. So we'll see what happens in 3, because, you know, Thane. I don't think is going to live that long.
I am worried for 3 because Ashley is still alive, and that's gonna be an uncomfortable conversation.
Well, that's the thing. It's like now that I've done like FemShep, like when I play this game again, if I do FemShep again, I really should go after Caden, and then kill him on the planet.
Mass Effect 1.
See, I'm still so sad I left Ashley alive. I should have just nipped that.
You really should have killed her, because she's gonna be mad that you cheated on her, despite the fact that the only thing you said to her was, "I want to be friends. Can we please be friends?"
Oh, she's already mad at me because I was like, hey, because I did the Renegade conversation topic with her. I was like, hey, no, we're not together anymore. And then she got super mad. I was like, no, this never happened. This was all in your head, Ashley. This was all in your head.
Yeah, it really was this time.
So I finished up some unfinished business for my first playthrough 15 years ago and romanced Jack. It's the entire reason I didn't play FemShep. And really, really happy with how it all went. I think my favorite part was you kind of get to see, because between the romancing of Jack and then also the like her companion mission, you kind of see that she is like completely busted, and like anybody will be completely busted. You learn more about like the romances she's had, and where I was like, oh yeah, I fell in love again afterwards. And then he tried to turn me in for the bounty. And like, it's like, yeah, it sounds like everything is all bad. And the cool thing is the game doesn't approach it from a way of Shepard fixing her necessarily. Like, so you get conversation topics where it's like, I'm really happy that she found somebody that accepts her for who she is and gets her. And then like you get that from the ninja lady. Why am I forgetting her name?
Kasumi,
yeah. She's like, I'm so happy that the two of you found each other and that she found somebody that accepts her for who she is. And then, you know, when you had the conversation between Jack and Shepard, it's very much hey, I'm broken too. And I don't expect you to be fixed, and that's okay. And so really cool. And then my absolute very, very favorite part about it is because I've finished Mass Effect 2's major storyline. So we had the moment, and I have a rule in Mass Effect 2 that if you can put a character in glasses, they have to wear glasses. And if you know anything about the glasses that Jack wears, they are just like the worst, like sci-fi glasses. They're like these like sunglasses.
They're bolted to her head.
It's very Star Trek almost. They look terrible. They look absolutely terrible. So,
yeah, they really do. That's fantastic.
And so there's no like clothing change when you get to that point. So like, so it's just it's like zoom in on her face wearing those glasses. And I was like, I made the right choice. I 100% made the right choice. Glasses forever.
Maybe I should put the glasses on for Thane before I go.
Oh, Thane's glasses are equally bad. You 100% should. You have to, because they're also terrible. I also have Thane wearing his. Miranda's kind of okay. They're kind of like this, like they're almost like digital. And then Garrus has a cool little eyepiece, and then Grunt has like two digital eyepieces. So I would say those two. There are varying degrees of cool and uncool eyepieces available.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really happy with Jack. I thought it was a good decision. So I'm actually really looking forward to Mass Effect 3 and continuing that. And then Ashley, man, the game is wrong. I just said one nice thing to her one time, and it was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, you wanted to marry her? Okay.
Now I know what it was like to be a friend of mine in high school. It's just like,
I wish that didn't feel so relatable.
Right?
And now we're married? Oh no, I was trying to be nice about that shirt.
Yeah, the shirt's okay. I don't know.
It's really not, but I feel bad for you.
Yeah. I really like how in most of the romances that come to memory, none of them are about like manic pixie dream girl-esque of like they fix Shepard doesn't fix them, or that they're so broken that Shepard has to fix them. They're all just different people that appreciate and interact with Shepard in, I think, mostly healthy ways. And I think that they handle the romance section of Mass Effect really quite well in Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, I think there are some tropey things happening with Jack, I feel like.
There are certainly tropes, yes.
Whereas I don't, and then, yeah, I think the closest you get to a manic pixie dream girl is Tali almost.
Almost, yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there really is. It's the character writing in Mass Effect 2 is really, really good. I think the largest trope you get is Jack as like this broken, but I think they do such a good job of kind of explaining everything in all of her missions that it comes across as really interesting as opposed to like a sad trope, which I think it could have been really easy to fall into a trope. And it almost does sometimes with some of the dialogue.
Yeah, it's very close.
Kind of like, oh, it's okay, I accept it, I guess. But okay, it's fine. But for the most part, really happy with it. So, straight over the sandwich.
Let's do it.
Taste my grilled cheese.
Moj.
It's not weird at all. I've been wanting to talk about this good since we first started playing Mass Effect 2. The lock-picking minigames are so good in Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, minigames are great.
Yeah.
Like connecting the nodes, great, super fun to see how quickly you do it. The different like
hacking.
The hacking one, the text options, kind of difficult sometimes. A lot of fun. Really enjoy that. Love them both. They never really feel like boring. I always feel like they're really interesting, especially the text one. I think that one always, you're always like, okay, where is it? Okay, I'm looking for 3 large whites and then a large orange and then 3 blues. Okay, found it. Or space, and then a white.
Yeah, the indents, and it's like, oh, okay, wait, nope, that's not it. Okay, I haven't seen one in like 3 screens. Where is it?
It's ticking down. There it is. Yeah, a lot of fun. Love the lock-picking mini games. Thought they really nailed it in this episode. Or not episode, sorry, in this game.
Yep.
Matt?
Yeah.
This is your turn about the not so good?
Not so good. The not so good's the hammerhead. We discussed it already in depth, why the hammerhead sucks.
Because it does.
Because it's bad. It actually made me miss the Mako. And the Mako was...
What I dislike so much about the hammerhead is it could have been amazing. But the way that you use it is it's a platforming minigame within this RPG that's very surprising out of nowhere, and I don't dislike it. But like I feel like if you have like whole missions attached to this platforming part, and like you have 5 minutes of platforming to get to the next part, which you do sometimes, that also invites like ship-to-ship combat, you got to throw autosaves in there. You just got to throw some autosaves. I don't want to do this platforming 4 or 5 times because I'm trying to get that last bit of Ezo up there where when you hop up onto the steps and then they hit you in a crossfire, so you have to go on the other side and like scam it by firing from distance. I don't want to have to do all the mini games up to that point first, though.
Yeah, that's real fair.
Oh, that's great. What's our best good?
The best good is the amount of sass that Liara has in the Shadowbroker DLC is so good. We've already talked about what kind of guns does this have? It's a taxi. But there's also a section where you have to defend you have to defend this door, while one of Liara's VIs basically picks the lock. And you have to survive waves upon waves upon waves. And Shepard goes, "What's taking it so long?" She goes, "Well, it's a VI. It's experimental. I didn't know if it was going to work or not." Shipper goes, "Don't you miss the days we could just slap Metagel on everything and open
Right.
it up?"
And then she has a response for that, which is so good. And she comes back and she goes, "Yeah, that was one of the biggest security upgrades of all time, and people are still mad about that." It's
Yep.
so funny.
Yep.
Yeah, that line got a big pop for me. Like I just started laughing when I heard that. It was just like, it's so good.
Yeah, it was really great DLC, so well written. She is super interesting. They should have had more of her in Mass Effect 1 instead of just the 5 minutes at the end.
Yeah, it's almost like she could have been a main character in Mass Effect.
Yeah, really
right?
weird that she was. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure about you guys, but it was super strange how when you in Mass Effect 1, how after you pick her up, she's supposedly knows all this stuff. It's been really useful during the rest of the game, I feel like.
I know. I know.
Yeah. Strange. Anyway,
He asks each traveler 3 questions. 3 questions.
3, that's a magic number.
hey there, Matt. What are you liking so far?
I really enjoyed these DLCs. Yeah. They're good. They're really good. The good stories. The Shadowbroker fight was great. I felt really good. The fact that I have melee damage upgraded on my suit because I'm that kind of character that likes to jump in, do melee, hit him with a shotgun and do melee. So I just literally when the shields were down, I just ran in there and just started punching him in the face, and it was great.
Would you like to ask
Storm
me what
Rage.
I've been liking so far, Matt?
No, I would not. No.
Okay.
What would you liking so far?
The Shadowbroker DLC is just fun. I think sometimes video games try so hard to tell a specific story or a narrative, and I think sometimes they get in the way of themselves by trying to do too much. The Shadowbroker DLC has a fun story. It's fine. It's nothing that I'm like, oh, this is changing my life, but it's just fun, and that's great. It's just a great time from start to finish. The levels are fun. The banter is fun. It's just such a fun DLC. Dano, what about yourself?
It's a great question, Storm Rage. I'm really so glad that you asked me that.
Yeah.
Shoot, I forgot to write something down for this. Honestly, it's the same. I think the surprise at the end of the Shadowbroker DLC was really cool. And I love how, there's zero reason why Shepard and friends wouldn't be basically running the galaxy at this point.
Right.
They're just the most powerful beings. And it makes a lot of sense for Liar to take that jump from being information broker to becoming shadow broker. And it was a really, really cool moment. It surprised me. I loved it. I loved the character arc, even though I hardly know her. You really get to know her during that mission. There was so much conversation and banter. I really felt so I love that a whole bunch. It was a lot of humor put into this DLC, which I thought was really fun. And then that moment when she sees the screens and doesn't even she thinks about it for a moment, the camera pans around her and then she goes up and starts speaking to them in this confidence, the Shadow Broker is here and he is just fine. I thought that was awesome. Mm-hmm. Super cool. Loved it. No notes. One of my favorite DLCs of any games I've ever played. What are you struggling with there, Matt?
I'm struggling with the fact that the Arrival mission, which we were supposed to do next week, isn't named Arrival in the quest log, but apparently it is. But who checks the quest log when it's all on the map now?
I have some good news for you, Matt.
Yeah.
You have the Arrival DLC done. So
that's true.
Just get to enjoy
that's
the end
the best
of the
news of the day.
You, sir, are the winner.
That is true. Yeah.
So instead of having to have this spoil the end of Mass Effect 2, you get to enjoy the amazingness that is the end of Mass Effect 2 without the Arrival DLC at the end.
I mean, but it just feels really weird and out of place where I'm at in the story. But that's okay.
Don't think about that too hard, because yeah. I mean, I guess it would we could talk about this next week. I guess you could kind of play it out of order and it wouldn't be the end of the world.
No.
It's not. There's a reason that they let you do it before everything. It just, I think canonically, it usually happens after the events of the suicide mission.
Okay.
I'm
Storm
sure it
Rage,
was
what are you
released
struggling-
afterwards since it was a DLC.
Yeah.
Storm Rage,
Uh,
what are you struggling with?
Just like it might sound weird, and maybe I'm just like too up in my own high horse, but like I feel the whole storyline of Project Overlord just makes me feel so uncomfortable, not just because of the way that it presents things, but also because of the fact that, like, I admittedly enjoy the story. I like parts of it quite a bit, and I don't know. It's one of those things that I wish that this story had been rewritten for 2025, or that they had added in more characters in that could represent a broader base of neurodivergent individuals. And there's a part of me that's just like guilty for enjoying it, and there's a part of me that is like that just doesn't really know how to feel about it.
I mean, there's some great set pieces in this.
Yeah.
Like the whole guest ship is an amazing set piece. The whole situation, the whole like cyber room where you're alone and you're like, as you're making your way to David,
Yeah.
is fantastic. Like then, like the fact you pick up the story and what actually happened to him is really well done, despite the problems. Well, like there's some really amazing parts to this DLC that are fantastic. It's just. It's of its time. It really feels of its time.
Yeah, it is.
And I suppose you can view Morden as neurodivergent if you want to. The hard part is he's the only representative of his race that you get to know. So you don't know if Morden is just Morden and this is just the way that they are, or if there's, if he's just a little bit, different than other. It's hard to kind of know. So
I would say that actually, now that you bring that up, I think he probably is neurodivergent in comparison to other Solarians, because we do meet a few in Mass Effect 3, and we also like talk to his apprentice in 2 for a brief while, and Morden is unique among Solarians.
Yeah, so like if you see Morden as neurodiverse, then I think you are getting that spectrum that we would like to see, right? Which I think then does a lot of credence to being just a really interesting story and not trying to be Rain Man. Right?
Yeah.
Which I think is something that you want to be careful of because Rain Man. So, I think if you look at it in that way, I think it could be fine. And also, it's really hard to have these conversations because none of us are autistic. And so, I don't know. Could be my son could play it and let me know how he feels, but he's 10 and I'm not going to let him do that. So,
yeah, I don't think that's a storyline appropriate for a 10-year-old.
When we do like Matt Xmas Effect in like 10 years maybe.
Yeah, when we come back to it. Assuming we're still doing Squelch in 10 years from now.
What do you mean assuming?
Great point.
No, I think good stories make you question that kind of stuff, right? And I think that is a testament to that story. So I'm not going to say it's bad for what it is. I think, the more I let it noodle around, the more I do appreciate it. I think my first thought, the first thing I typed after we were done with it, I was like, lame. Are we seriously just Rain Manning here? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But then the more it like sat with me and the more I thought about it and the more I discuss it, which, that's for good storytelling. And the more I think about Morden, I think about the other characters, right? Maybe there is a lot more there than, giving the game credit for. And we're just trying to try to say, oh, it's 15 years old. Therefore it must have been bad. And that might not be the case. So I am more than happy to like let it be what it is and appreciate the story for what it is, which is it's a terrifying story. It's a sad story. It's a tragic story. And I think the part that we didn't talk about was how much his brother trusts and loves him, which makes it so much worse. Right. And the way that he treats his brother is truly horrific. Even before that, where he's like, read me my notes. Repeat in my notes from this day. And then he doesn't. He's doing something on. He's like, repeat my notes. And then it's just, he's truly not a good person. And he doesn't love his brother. He sees his brother as a tool. And,
also correct.
And so, I think on a lot of levels, I think it's very successful for what it is. Honestly. I think, part of, if it came out in 2025, I wonder if we would be judging it harshly. I wonder if it could come out in 2025.
Yeah, that's also a good question.
So I wonder, like, if the Anti-Woke Brigade would get, where they would land on something like a story like this, right? And I don't know, be interesting. So I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe it's an 8. Maybe it's actually an 8. The more I talk about it, the more I like it. Except for this stupid Firewalker thing, or whatever it's called, the Hammerhead.
Dano, what have you been struggling with?
I wish I had more banter between party members. So you have to be really strategic about who you bring along on certain missions to ensure you get the most conversation possible. So I kept the IGN guide open at all times, and just for the purpose of making sure that I had the right people on the right missions to get the right amount of conversation. And Matt was there I was streaming in Discord last night, the end of the game, and I brought along the IFF mission at the end of the game, the IFF mission. And I brought along the characters that gave the most banter, and they were the wrong characters to bring for what I needed in that mission. And
that mission is hard, by the way. That's the hardest mission in the game.
Try doing it with Garrison Jacob
as a sniper. We'll talk about it next week. But I really wish that we had more conversations. So one thing that I said Final Fantasy VI is a game-defining game for me, like a life-defining game. So one cool thing about the last fight of Final Fantasy VI is the whole group participates. It's really, really cool. I don't want to talk about it too much. We're going to play Final Fantasy VI when Sheep gets done with school, and he goes back on the podcast. But one thing I really wish that this game did, because there's no reason why they all have to stay in the ship. So I wish all the party members just came on all the missions and then broke up into different squads. You had your 3-man squad, then there were other 3-man squads also there. And then over comms, that you just heard the banter. And there was just banter from all of them at all times on comms, regardless of who you're bringing with. So you got more of like this storytelling that gets to be told during missions. That's what I really, really wish we had. Instead, you have to go to where they live. Yes.
If I could just distill some of the things you've talked about, you enjoy DLCs that have a lot of comedy, and you would like an opportunity to bring on essentially your entire squad and have banter from a lot of different people. Is that roughly correct?
And this is the last podcast that Storm Rage is ever going to be on.
Because I just want you to hold that thought. I just want you to hold that thought. And when we get to Mass Effect 3,
okay.
I'm going to remind you, we're going to come back to this moment.
Oh,
we're going to
really?
come back to right this moment.
Oh, cool.
So
I thought
you're
this was
saying
gonna be BG3. I think like BG3 does that, and I'm like, stop
No,
talking about BG3.
I mean, they do, and you should, but that's not what I'm talking about.
No. So you're saying Storm Rage. You're saying this, right? They fix it in 3.
We'll talk about 3. We will talk about 3.
But yeah, that's been my only problem, because you have to go to like all of their like little homes and have conversations with them one-on-one, which is fine, and I enjoy that. But like, I feel like you get to know the characters so much more. And they definitely didn't like Dragon Age Inquisition is the same way, and that game came out years and years after this one came out. Also a BioWare game where you have to bring around the right characters and you get banter that way, and then there's like a timer on it and stuff. But anyways, and I'm going to say that I'm not going to I don't want to set expectations. That's not the thing for all of Mass Effect 3. There is just a specific chunk that does do all the things that Dano wants it to do. What surprised you about the game there, Matt?
How long the DLC missions were. Like, they were like, I figured like going in, they'd just be regular missions. No, they were like straight up like set pieces, actual like mission plus legs, like, you know. And they fit really well within the storyline, except for one particular one that I wasn't aware that was one.
To be in your defense, I also started it and I was like, wait a minute, is this? And then I went to the quest log and I was like, I'm in the arrival mission. Quick, go back to a save.
Storm Rage, what surprised you?
The amount of additional content when you finish the Shadowbroker stuff, like going through everybody's dossiers, looking at the videos, not all of it's great, but all of it's there, and it's like just free content on top of a really good mission. And there's just so much good stuff here, and you can find out so much about the world of Mass Effect if you ever want to, just in the game, and it's just such fun, broad storytelling. Dano, how about yourself?
How good the Shadowbroker DLC is. It kind of makes you wonder if we're all wrong about hating DLCs, because it's so good. Like, I think a lot of people are kind of on like I don't want DLC time, like, train. Why don't we just tell the story and tell the story? This DLC is fantastic. It stands on its own. It can be completed at any time within the timeline of the game. It's great. I think it's a top fiver. I can't think. I mean, I'm sure I have to really think about DLCs and like which, but I have to imagine this is one of the greats because it was just so good. Tells a great story, standalone on its own, and then a bunch of just fun content that you can engage with after you complete it. A lot of fun.
Yep.
I wish I could go out on missions myself though. Like, give me more missions to run.
Yeah.
You're thinking, can I afford to buy a car like this? Huh? Am I right? Seriously, Stan, you can't afford not to buy a car like this, and I'm going to make it easy on you.
All right, real quick, Storm Rage.
It'll make you cry, and grateful you get to punch a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Matt?
DLC is a necessary evil in modern gaming, but when they're done like this, it's kind of a good thing. They need more like this. If more DLC was like Shadowbroker, then I'd be more willing to actually invest in more DLC in games like this.
So, yes, remember that one friend in high school who disappeared for like 10 years and then showed back up out of nowhere and is now running a criminal organization? But not because they actually want to run a criminal organization, but because if they are in charge of the organization, it won't do so much evil murdering. It's like that, but a video game.
We're going pretty good, Wait, is that the end of the?
Did we just skip the outro?
Yeah.
Oh!
Don't we do a thing?
Oh,
we don't end it like that, Dano.
Oh, I deleted the out. Oh, it's right there. That's it for this week. Thank you all so much for listening. And thanks to all our patrons for patronizing us. Special thank you to our producers and best friends forever, Baximus and RidiculousHat. You can find links to the Discord and content information at Big Comment, our Patreon page, over at patreon.com/Squelch. And go to our Discord to vote on our Marple game.
Yeah, and this is the only way that the show could have possibly ended. But Mass Effect 2 is a game, and games are supposed to be fun.
I think that now it feels better that we goofed up the intro, that we also goof up the outro. We've really come full circle on this one.
But symmetry, Storm Rage.
Yeah.
So yes.
Sling those Mass Effect 2 relays, baby.
All right, and for all of us, sing us out. I would like to hear about Marvel Rivals in the After Dork because you are on like a 6-day streak, and I've been watching Marvel Rivals play in the background for this entire podcast, and I have to hear about it.
It's pretty fun. It's real fun, and I will happily talk about Marvel Rivals.
We also could talk about the Liquid Death root beer flavored water.
Oh.
Yeah.
How? Is it good?
Hey, yeah, sure.
Okay, well I'm not running out to go grab that then.
I mean, you know.
Yeah. I would say, so I've had, this is my second can today, which is more than I can fiscally responsibly drink because it ain't cheap.
No, I believe it.
So, but no, it's fine. It has like some fake sugar in it, so there's that like fake sugar like coating in your mouth, the stevia coating, you know. So that's kind of a bummer. And it has like a little bit of like regular sugar, like agave nectar or something. So it's not like just like LaCroix where it's like this was bottled near that flavor and now has so it's not quite that. It has a little bit more to it, but it kind of tastes like a root beer water. It's not as good as a root beer though, because root beer is pure magic.
Is it literally like a root beer that's like, okay, you drank it out of this, you drank a glass of root beer and then you still have ice and a little bit of root beer in the bottom of the cup and then add water?
It's kind of like the end of the root beer after the ice melts. It's got that much flavor to it.
Okay.
It's got a lot more flavor than you would expect if you're used to like LaCroix and stuff. So yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, I don't dislike it. I'll probably try the cola one. I think it's a cola one too. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you want to start the intro again?
Actually, I hate you so much.
I mean, y'all have finished the game.
I still have to finish the rival mission, which I'm doing after this because I dislike myself. Though I'm close to the end. I think I'm almost there. Gosh.
Have you done both of the things?
I think so. I have no. So I'm back at the base. If that gives you an idea of where I'm at. So I saw the MacGuffin. And then
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anywho, send over to After Dark. We're gonna talk about Marvel Rivals. Thank you all so much for letting us talk at you again this week. And next week's last week of Mass Effect 2 and then Mass Effect 3. Can't believe we're doing this.
Wild. This has been my favorite 2 months of podcasting that has ever existed. I'm just going to talk about my favorite game all the time.
All right. You just want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.